Hey everyone, it's Will, GamerDad, with another video for you. So in today's episode of Should You Summon, we'll discuss the various banners that feature another style Lovebird, aka AS Lovely. Now if you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe to my channel, I really appreciate it. I also do have a Patreon account for those who want to support me this way. Now first of all, remember that this is a full update from the App Store or the Play Store, so make sure you go there and update it to the newest version 3.1.200, and let's get right into it. So of course we have the standard Fateful encounter. Pulls 1 to 9 are just normal, and pull 10 it will be the 10% flat chance. Note that pulls 1 to 9 are 0.8%. And also note that this Fateful does not feature normal style Lovely. It only has 0.04% chance of the 4-star and 0.02% chance of the 5-star, which is unfortunate because, as you know, if you do play the game, you can grind out those treatises such that even the normal style Lovely will eventually get you the AS version. Now keep in mind, this was released with Lokito's True Manifest, so let's just roll down the list here and see if Lokito has been boosted. Because sometimes they do that. Just going a little bit further down. And he is not boosted. So straight out, just 0.8% chance pulls 1 to 9 and 10% chance for the pull 10. Okay, and then let's take a look at what else is there. I guess there's just two banners. So let's go right into this one and see what we have. I thought there was another banner actually. Okay, anyways. Okay, so this one is the free one that can be used with either paid stones or free stones. This one is featuring both the 4.5 normal style, which is 0.4, as well as the AS, which is 0.8, and this is shared with Lokito, unfortunately. He is 0.4 and 0.8 respectively as well. So this is considered a split banner for Lovely. However, at least they were able to give you the 0.4% 4.5 up rate. Keep in mind that with free banners, again, the two newest banners are not in play. You do still have very powerful units, however, like I said, it's not perfect in that sense. Okay, we'll scroll all the way down. Of course, there are the bots, Rainbow Sisters and Knights. And of course, AS Lokito is not boosted. Alright, so should you summon? Now, obviously, it really depends on how much you want Lovebird. And remember that Lovebird is our first preemptive blunt zone setter with a move. Actually, no, not preemptive. Just a regular blunt move that deploys blunt zone. And of course, she can also VC in. However, her VC does not activate Blunt Zone as well. So she is a little bit different from, for example, Yifa or AS Yifa or even ES Suzette, my waifu. Those VC in Blunt Zone. This one does not. However, in exchange of having a little bit less flexibility that way, you do have a unit that can act kind of like an AS Radius or AS Sora. You can activate Guard on user, and if you've used either of those previous two units I've mentioned, you'll know how powerful Guard is. Guard basically eats all damage directed at either a single target or your entire party onto herself or himself, and everyone else takes 0, and she or he would take all the damage and not die. It would leave them at 1 HP no matter how much damage, whether or not it's 1,000, 10,000, 100,000 or so on and so forth, provided there are certain fights that cannot be overcome, aka Lokito's True Manifest fight. Now that was a doozy. However, this one is Guard for 2 turns back to back, and it only can be used once per battle. When you activate this Guard, when she is attacked, and of course remember that all attacks are redirected towards her, type res applied to all enemies 50% down and up to 100% stackable, so 3 stacks of 100%, and inflicts Mega Poison and recovers 10% AF gauge. So keep in mind that for every attack coming her way, she will recover 10% AF gauge. And so if you fight 3 enemies and they all each do 1 turn, like for example, AS Serene's final fight, there are 3 mobs plus the boss. If all those attacks, you should be able to get 40% AF gauge recovery. I believe it's actually per move. So if there are multiple moves from one unit, I'm not sure how many charges it will do. It all depends on how the devs program that particular attack towards you. Keep in mind that also it should be triggered by things like HP stoppers, where they have counterattacks and so on and so forth as well. Now, like I said, she does have a Fire Blunt AoE that inflicts Mega Poison, and it will deploy Blunt Zone. And keep in mind that because this move was actually a 4-star move, that means normal style Lovely will also be able to do this, even though, as of tonight's update, even though she really didn't get a boost either of that. Okay, her other thing, other than having the guard, is that in AF, her attack, instead of doing 1 attack, will do 3 attacks, and it will increase AF combo gain. So she really is an AF specialist, which has, and also has obviously the ability to 1-turn Blunt Zone AS. And being that this is Fire Blunt, you have a lot of units, ES Suzette, AS Hardy, herself, or just Blunt users. There's quite a few awesome ones out there, and you can really do large 1-turn AFs. And of course, after that, you can activate her guard at the end so that your Blunt team will survive, and as long as you can kind of end the fight in 2 or 3 turns afterwards, you won't die, and that will probably be the end of that. Also, she does have the ability to boost her own power and speed, and she can apply blunt resistance up to 100% down on the enemy within the first 3 turns. So a lot of potential within this tiny little package. Now, that being said, should you summon? I could be completely wrong on this, but I feel that Blunt Zone is really underdeveloped. There are a few really powerful Blunt units. However, I do feel that Slash is quite a bit more fleshed out in terms of just the number of Slash units out there. Even Pierce has gotten a few cool units. And finally, of course, Magic Zone is just dominating the field if you're talking about weapon type damage. Now, in terms of fire, she loses to other powerful fire units, obviously things like Alter Sakia and other powerful fire units. And so as a pure fire DPS, she is conditional damage mainly during the AF. Outside AF, her damage is actually very, very low relatively. And so if you're already winning super hard during the AF and you're not having an issue during the AF, I'm not sure how much she'll add to your team. Now, granted, the fact that she has guard with the AF recovery and the fact she can apply 100% type resistance, that will come into play for many fights because, let's be honest, if you're doing elemental attacks, type res will always come into effect. And seeing that bosses have full equipment now where they have, like, for example, 90% type resistance already, you can apply more than 100% to the enemy so that eventually you cap out at negative 100% because you have to overcome its first 90% shielding for type resistance, if that makes sense. And so just having 100% type resistance is not enough. You can actually have multiple sources of type resistance down so that you can overcome either the aura or the equipment, and we see more and more of that in some of the super bosses out there. But overall, I think given that she really only helps during the AF, and she has guard, but if you have other guard units such as AS Sora or obviously AS Radius, the ultimate defense times 3, not sure you could say she's a must summon. And again, I mean, there are other more powerful upcoming banners as well. If you love Blunt Zone and you really want the 1-turn Blunt Zone AF, then you can feel free to summon on it. But keep in mind that if you just want 1-turn AFs, you can do that with a variety of things. And we don't have a Blunt Zone Grasta yet, but of course, being that we've seen Pierce and Slash Zone Grasta out there, Blunt Zone Grasta will only be a matter of time, followed by Magic Zone Grasta. So I wouldn't be too sad about not having that right now. And like I said, currently meta, I don't think you need Blunt Zone. Again, things can change in an instant, but that's my stance on that right now. Given the fact that you also have Lokido sharing, most people already have Lokido, and that dilutes the pool in having the chance of getting Lovely. Like I mentioned yesterday, I do have Lovely in normal style, and so I will grind out the treatises. I know many of you have already talked about summoning or not summoning for her, but if you haven't already, let me know in the comments below what you are going to do with this banner. And even more importantly, have you beaten Lokido's True Manifest? I may try a separate clear in the future, but this one clear did take me some time, and To be honest, quite frustrating as well. Anyways, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.